Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Graham from the School of Teacher Education at National Taiwan Normal University. Welcome to my office hours. Recently, I've been reading a book titled 7 Steps to Raising a Bilingual Child by Naomi Steiner and Susan Hayes. The second step they discuss is defining your goals. And they provide a list of questions parents should answer before raising their child to be bilingual. I often think there are many similarities between being a bilingual parent and a bilingual teacher. So in today's video, I'd like to share 4 of these questions with you. Whether you are a new bilingual teacher or an experienced one, I think these questions can guide you to reflect on what you hope to achieve. Question number 1. Decide which languages are important to you and why. The Bilingual 2030 policy lays out a plan for Mandarin and English bilingual education. But that is not your only option. The National Languages Act encourages the incorporation of local languages in schools throughout Taiwan as well. This opens up a host of options for you as a bilingual teacher beyond just simply Mandarin and English. You could practice bilingual education with Mandarin and a local language. Alternatively, I've heard that some schools in Taiwan actually do bilingual education with a local language and English. However, I encourage you not to get stuck on the prefix bi in bilingual education. Taiwan is the perfect context for incorporating 3 languages in bilingual education. That is Mandarin, a local language, and English. Other countries have successfully incorporated 3 languages into their education system, and I see no reason why Taiwan couldn't as well. Question number 2. Identify your motives for and your reservations about bilingualism. English, whether rightly or wrongly, is regarded as a very powerful language globally. This is often cited as the motive for putting more emphasis on English in the curriculum. But we also have to acknowledge that when you add English, there's a potential for subtracting something else. In the case of Taiwan, that something else is Mandarin or a local language. It's important that bilingual teachers reflect on these issues. Bilingual education can provide a lot of positive benefits, but if implemented and practiced without critical reflection, there could be the potential for some unexpected consequences. Question number 3. Determine how proficient you hope your students will be in the additional language. This question will mean something slightly different for teachers than it will for parents. Bilingual teachers need to decide 2 things. First, what skills they want students to develop, and second, for what purposes. Teachers will need to determine whether or not they want to develop all 4 language skills, that is, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, or just some of them, like speaking and listening. In terms of purposes, you'll need to consider whether students will simply be exposed to general classroom language, or whether you would like them to advance in everyday or academic language within the content area you teach. Needless to say, your choices here will lead to different approaches to lesson planning. Finally, question number 4. Do a reality check. Are your proficiency goals realistic for your class? We have to be honest with ourselves. The education conditions in Taiwan will largely dictate what you can and cannot do in your bilingual classroom. In many cases, students will come to your class without the prerequisite proficiency needed to learn through English. That will substantially limit what you can realistically achieve. Another issue is that Taiwan's curriculum is overloaded, and teachers and students already feel overwhelmed in many subjects when the teaching and learning are only through Mandarin. Using English in these situations will likely only exacerbate this issue further. Finally, if you teach a course that is tested on an entrance exam for high school or university, you will likely have a lot of pressure from administration and parents to limit your bilingual practices. These contextual factors all need to be taken into account as you reflect on your class's bilingual goals. If you'd like to read more information on these questions, or would like to better understand these questions from a parenting perspective, I recommend taking a look at Chapter 2 of Steiner and Hayes' book. I personally have found parenting books to be good prompts for reflection as a teacher and teacher educator, and perhaps you might find the same. Thank you for attending my office hours. If you have a question that you'd like me to answer on this channel, send me an email at kmgraham@ntnu.edu.tw. I'll see you next time.